What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm gonna do a water change for all of my tanks. Every single one of them. So I had a lot of processes when it comes to doing water changes for these tanks, especially after changing locations and tank setups, but now I've mastered it, at least for my setup. So the first thing I gotta do is connect the outlet hose, which is this. All I do now is get this, make it not tangled. Then also I make sure there's no like kinks and stuff in here. And then I'll throw the hose outside. So here's the hose. I do is put this somewhere. Now I normally store it on or in a bucket, but I want to water my grass. So what I'm doing now is, let me move this over this side. Now is just throwing it in my grass. That's it. And then slowly I'll move the hose around to get different areas of the grass, but for the most part, that's all I do. Now that we're back in, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in this, which is the power wire for the water pump. Plug it into my power station here. I would plug it into the wall, but the cord isn't long enough, so bam, that's going. Water's getting pumped out, good to go. I have a secondary water pump, which is that one right there. And yeah, I plug this in after this one gets to about like halfway. That way I can drain both of the tanks and have it all go out one direction. Also, another thing is I'll turn off those two sump pumps, which I'll go ahead and do now. Once a month, I'll get a stick and go in here and just stir up the detritus that builds up in the K1 sump, and then that'll just get pushed out into the lawn and wherever it goes. But yeah, I'll do that once a month. So yeah, now that the whole water change process is started, we just wait for this one to get to about halfway. All right, water is at halfway point now. Let's go ahead and plug in this water pump. All right, so now that this is drained and this is drained, I'm gonna go ahead and put the water pump from here and then put it into these tanks and then drain this tank. All right, so now that all the tanks are drained, let's go ahead and start the fill-up process. Let me go ahead and spray off all the hot water. In the hose, there's usually a lot of hot water, so I want to spray it off first. Now it's time, because if you don't do that, it's gonna get super hot in the tank and it's gonna be all bad. This, jam it in there, keep it going. Should be good. Okay, now that the water is turned on, let's go ahead and open this valve up. And this allows all the water to be flowed into the tank. And as you see, that's what it's looking like right there. It looks like a lot of flow because it is. All the shrimp just end up going to the left side and it's all good. So while that's happening, I'll go ahead and get my safe. Probably add about like that much. And that's my water conditioner. I also add these outer cones for my shrimp. Also gives good black water effect on my tank, so those two is good. I go ahead and add a leaf or two of this, which is Indian almond leaf. Bam. As the leaves decompose, it provides food for the baby shrimp, so that's why this is good for the tank. Bam. Now I wait for that to fill up. All right, so the shrimp tank is now full. I went ahead and moved the water pump up here, and now we're gonna go ahead and fill this tank up now. And then in between fills, I open and close this valve, so it makes it a lot easier to transfer the water pump. See how it was off not long ago? Now it's on. Well, if you're wondering what the temperature is of the shrimp tank after adding in all that water, it is perfectly 79 degrees after adding in that water. I normally have the water at 80 degrees, so 1 degree off is not bad. Let me see if I can get the temperature of this. Coming out of the hose, it's about 78.6, 78 degrees. All right, so now to prepare my bigger tank for the new water, I'm gonna go ahead and add my safe. I usually add 2 scoops. 1, 2. Each scoop is for 100 gallons. So yeah, that's why I add 2 scoops. GoPro tank is full now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Grab this. Over and then bam. Bam. Now all the water is flowing in. I'm gonna close this lid. I'm gonna turn these lights on real quick. There you go. Get some lights in here, man. It's dark. Looks a lot better with lights, right? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wait for this to fill up, and then halfway through, we'll go ahead and turn on that water pump back there, so it'll help flow into this tank right here, and then it'll make water changes a lot easier. Almost forgot. For this tank, I also add the outer cones because my culprit likes black water, so bam, bam. You can see it right here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but the temperature is perfect at 79 degrees. All right, so I was gonna wait until like halfway to turn this pump on, but I'm gonna just turn it on now. Won't hurt to turn on early. And now we can get this side filled up. We'll go ahead and come back when everything's a little bit closer to being done, and that way we can make sure everything's good to go. All right, so now that the water's all filled, I didn't record this part, but I removed the water pump and the hose and cleaned it all up. And then also I turned on the 2 switches for the water pump for the sump, and then flip this switch right here, which can either be like this or it can be like that. This means it's off, and then this means it's on. And then went ahead and filled up my ATO system and put my air pump back to where it was. And that's pretty much it. That takes a little bit longer because I do all the tanks at once. My water pump isn't as strong as it should be. I might upgrade to a bigger one later on down the road. But yeah, that's my process every 2 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks. That's what I do. And on top of that, I keep a board that shows when I last changed my water. Went ahead and updated the dates, and then this kind of lets me know when the water was last changed. I used to have it there, but I have this rack here now, so it covers half of it. So I went ahead and just got this one right here. So yeah, that's how I do my water changes in the fish area. If you've ever wondered how I did it, it's not a short process, but at the same time, it doesn't take too long. It takes a long time, but it's not like half the day. So yeah, I definitely appreciate this new setup that I have, especially this pump that's back here. It definitely helps the process out with this hose. I just literally leave this here for the next time I do a water change. If you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. And peace.